Apartment 407. Hey folks, welcome back to our channel Mystery Recap. In today's video, we're going to recap a movie named Apartment 407, so stick with us till the end. But before we move on to the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more videos like this one. At the beginning of the movie, Isabel talks about her life and what she knows about sex trafficking and sexual crimes. It looks like mugshots and could pass as a documentary. Isabel is tied and gagged in a dark room after saying things about being a survivor in the movie. While a man tries to inject her with some drugs, she is restrained with a fake leather belt. Like her feet, the syringe appears large and soiled. She hopes the needle will cause her to contract HIV. However, given that she has already engaged in sexual crimes, worrying about that seems premature. Backstory of the dreaded crime is revealed. Isabel runs in a spooky park before taking a slow-motion shower at home. She skips the hair wash. She makes awkward kissing noises, waking up her husband. As soon as he awakens, her husband kisses her again. The best halitosis is sticky and strong in the morning. They are celebrating their anniversary, but they can't agree on who will make breakfast. They make awkward noises while kissing once more. Soon after, their youngster enters and asks for food. Even at a second glance, the young child initially has a boyish appearance. The child is actually a girl. The young girl is informed by Isabel that there is no food. The young child, who has untidy bed hair, appears perplexed by Isabel's parenting. Isabel finally gets up to prepare breakfast. After she insists that she is hungry, she had no idea that her foul-smelling husband had been cooking while she was out for a run. The young girl without teeth beams with delight. Isabel acknowledges her spouse. Isabel continues to her place of employment where she teaches Pilates. She instructs her clients as if they are in prehistoric Sparta. Isabel speaks with one of her clients about her final day at the gym after the day's workout. The departure of one of Isabel's clients is secretly making her sad. Later that day, Isabel tries to enjoy her sandwich at a coffee shop. An unhoused person approaches the customers and begs for money. Isabel is approached by this obnoxious Keith Urban ripoff. The beggar snaps and snatches Isabel's sandwich. Isabel is immediately uneasy when he makes a scene. Isabel is interrupted and protected from the scruffy, unhoused man by a man. Isabel is asked if she would like to model for the man, who is a photographer. Isabel resists trying to do the job despite his efforts to convince her. She claimed that she is only a Pilates instructor and that she is already a mother. She is persuaded by the friendly but spooky photographer using a $7,000 paycheck. Isabel thinks that's a lot of money for models. Isabel leaves the meeting with the photographer's business card. Isabel talks to her husband, who accepts because the sum of money is substantial. When Isabel arrives at the photographer's address, she gets the impression that something is wrong with his structure. Although her gut tells her not to go, the photographer convinces her that everything will be fine. Isabel, who is gullible, decides to enter after believing in him. She clearly feels anxious, but she ignores her feelings in favor of the sparkling $7,000. Chloe, the photographer's assistant, is introduced. Even their complete sets of photography gear appear to be legitimate and professional. They continue to take Isabel's sample pictures. Isabel seems to appreciate the compliments from the photographer. Isabel leaves the photo session feeling beautiful. A few days later, Chloe calls to tell her that she has secured a client for her. Isabel is overjoyed as she grins wildly. She breaks the news to her exhausted husband, who congratulates her. He could have taken a shower first, though, as he appeared sweaty and unwell from his day's work. Isabel, however, doesn't seem to mind because she is so preoccupied with her fledgling modeling career. On their anniversary, Isabel visits a lingerie store. Isabel returns to the photographer's building and questions why nobody's there. Isabel is photographed as the photographer locks the door. Isabel is offered some fruit by the man after he takes out a knife. She trembles in terror and says her husband is on his way to pick her up. The evil man doesn't have faith in her. When Isabel is threatened by the evil photographer, she sobs awkwardly. She stealthily reaches for her phone and tries to call 911. Isabel asks to use the restroom and the man agrees to let her as long as she puts her phone away. She drops to her knees in the restroom, trembling in terror. Isabel can't scream after being struck in the throat by a photographer with a psychotic condition. The lingerie she bought that day for her anniversary is discovered when the man searches her bag. He hands Isabel a bag of used underwear wrapped in brown paper. Isabel is coerced into posing for photos by the photographer. He slaps her strong calves and touches her trembling bum. He threatens to kill her daughter if she ever tries to flee after observing Isabel's cesarean section. He talks about betta fish and other survival-related topics while throwing Isabel's phone into the fishbowl. Isabel begs for her life because she is too terrified to comprehend what is happening. The scene is intense, but Frida never seems to show emotion. However, that is only a side observation. The man makes Isabel drink a glass of milk on the way back. She gags a little bit because she doesn't like the taste of it. She is then captured on camera by the photographer. Isabel begins to feel sleepy. He obviously drugged the milk. Isabel passes out. The next thing she knows, a random man is taking advantage of her. In the corner, the photographer records everything. Isabel throws up at the memory of what transpired. In her lucid state, Isabel makes every effort to get away. The door, however, is always locked. The wall is even chained to the lampshade. She locates a large glass window and cries out for assistance. She remembers all the disgusting things that were done to her as she helplessly stares at her body, and the place smells like man juice everywhere. She threw up once more as her stomach grumbled. Isabel loses hope that they will ever be rescued because the man makes her uncertain about their location. This psychopath is nicer than even Lucifer. Isabel bathes and cleans her. Isabel cries out for help as the man pretends to call her husband, but he strikes her in the throat once more. The photographer acknowledges that he is doing it for financial gain. Isabel receives visits from several men who harass her. Some of the men even wear masks, and some are elderly grandfathers with bald heads. Isabel claims to be expecting a child. She is offered more milk by the photographer because he doesn't believe her. Isabel is instructed to put on the white underwear she bought for her anniversary by the man. Isabel is extremely weak, and everything is so messed up. When they finally discover Isabel is actually pregnant, the evil photographer offers her a sandwich. When she sees a jacket, she rips open the pockets to reveal a concealed blade. She pretends to be asleep and tucks the blade under the covers when the photographer pays her a visit in the morning. After stabbing the bad pimp, she flees. She had more opportunities to stab him, which would have prevented him from standing up and pursuing her. Instead, she flees and cries out for assistance from a rooftop. She might be in shock or haven't watched a lot of thrillers in the past. She takes off running once more, this time screaming for assistance in an empty hallway. Fortunately, a young child answers the door of apartment 407 and welcomes her inside. When she tries to open the door, Isabel rushes inside and orders her not to. Of course, young kids don't pay attention. When the sex dealer enters, Isabel is captured. The young girl is actually the pimp's daughter, it seems. Wishing the young girl wouldn't develop PTSD, Isabel is brought back to the cabinet in the man-juice room by the evil fodder-pimp photographer who then gauzes her with duct tape. The husband of Isabel comes to the apartment and asks for his wife. The pimp disputes it as if he were up for an Oscar. The husband breaks down the door to the apartment because he feels uneasy. With her respirator, the young girl extends a warm welcome. The pimp reveals to Isabel that he is the building manager and boasts to her about his intimate knowledge of the location. Isabel's gag is taken out, and he extends a breakfast invitation. Isabel is reassured by him that the food is unadulterated. As Isabel consumes it, she is reminded of her daughter's school play. No girl has ever escaped, the pimp tells Isabel. Later, he threatens Isabel, saying that he will harm her daughter if she makes another attempt to flee. Isabel consents to remain so that she can save her child. Isabel is so high she cannot even see the face of the new customer who enters the room. She frightens him by pretending to have AIDS, but he responds that he does too. As he takes Isabel, the AIDS man wraps cling film over her head. Even demons would be ashamed of their sins if this scene, because it is so horrifying. Isabel sees her young daughter in her angel costume in her dreams. The young girl glitters and shines. Isabel is so broken that when she tries to hang herself, the pimp intervenes to save her. The fact that the pimp is unable to decide which evil he will support proves that he is a lunatic. Isabel is given a kitten by the pimp. Another customer enters wearing suspenders. He has a Russian bouncer's appearance. Isabel dresses up as a silly clown. The client appreciates her assertive behavior. He strikes her hard after she stabs the customer with her makeup brush. The client confronts the pimp over the phone for what transpired. It is obvious that the photographer pimp is afraid of the customer. After some time, a different customer enters and tries to give Isabel a drug injection. The man's accent is foreign, and he has an odd-looking mustache. He receives a call and acts bewildered. Isabel is left chained to the bed, and the drug syringe is left on the table by the man with a graying mustache. After a painful escape, She takes the syringe off the table. While she waits for the ideal moment to strike, she acts as though she's still strapped into bed. When the pimp enters, he makes crude comments about Isabel's intelligence and her stupidity for visiting a stranger's home twice. The pimp spots Isabel as she prepares to strike and attacks her. Isabel, however, is so desperate to get home that she strikes the man with the metal handcuffs. He eventually nods off. She screams for help as she runs down the alley. She appears so filthy and defeated, and her hair looks like a lice terrarium. Finally, the police arrive and save her. When the police enter the apartment, they find no evidence of the crime. The photographer evaded capture and his daughter went unnamed. His fingerprints never matched anyone in the records, and all the evidence points to unregistered phone numbers. Isabel meets up with her daughter and husband again. So guys, that's it for today. If you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more movie recaps. Also, comment your favorite movie that you'd like to get a recap on. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out these videos as well.